With the COVID situation in Mumbai. Now, here's a major information in terms of the Sero Survey data that has come in. This survey conducted in Mumbai has found that at least 40% of people living in the maximum city have been exposed to the COVID-19 virus. The survey was conducted by the civic body, the BMC, on nearly 7,000 people in Dahisar, Matunga and Chembur areas. The survey also reveals that more women have been infected by the virus as compared to men. So this is a survey, a serological survey that tests the presence of antibodies. So in 40% of the people, the presence of antibodies were found, which indicates that there is a possibility that all of these people were infected at some stage. The survey also reveals that more women have shown strains of getting infected. As per the Sero Survey, 57% living in the slums had been exposed to the coronavirus, while in residential societies, 16% were exposed to the virus. BMC has cited that facilities like high density population and lack of physical distancing would be the reason of the high propensity and proliferation of the virus. Those living in slums were 3.5 times more exposed to the virus than people living in housing societies. This is a very important data to see the level and extent of the spread of COVID-19 in the city. And what has been revealed is that 40% of the population in all likelihood have been infected at some stage or are showing signs of being exposed to the COVID-19 virus. My colleague Disha Shah has this ground report.
BMC's Sero Survey result and findings have said that how at least 40% of the population living here in the city of Mumbai have been exposed to the virus, that is of COVID-19. In fact, the Sero Survey was conducted in the 3 wards of the city, that is in the Chembur and Matunga areas, which is in the eastern suburbs of Mumbai, and Dahisar area, which is in the western suburbs of Mumbai. This Sero Survey was done in the month of July, where randomly 7,000 near samples were collected here, and the tests were being done, which found out that at least 40% of the population in these 3 wards have been exposed to the virus and antibodies have been developed. Now, talking about more specific details, the BMC has found that at least 57% of the people living in the slum areas have been exposed to the virus, and 16% of the people living in the non-slums, that's the residential areas, have been exposed to the virus. So here, if you talk about slums, have been the more hit. And there are a couple of reasons. BMC says it's because due to lack of social distancing, people using and sharing common facilities like washrooms, etc. And that is why people were exposed in slum areas more. Second most important point, women have been infected more than men. That is the percentage, and that is what the Sero Survey finding has found. At least 58% of the women have been infected against 53% men. Second most important point, what the BMC has highlighted in its report, it clearly says that these people who were being tested, 7,000 samples, none of them have had a COVID test before. They have not done a COVID test before, which essentially means that all of them were asymptomatic or have not really developed any major symptoms for the infection. So these are some important parameters that have come to light about the Sero Survey. So this was the first phase of the survey, which was done by the BMC. Now, second phase, of course, will be done in August this year. And then a comparison will be done, as to how far the infection has really spread, because that was the entire motto of doing the Sero Survey. Secondly, when we spoke to the health experts, they spoke about the herd immunity. Herd immunity essentially means that the virus no longer can spread, quickly or faster, because most of the people have now become immune to it. So the health experts believe that at least in slum areas, the herd immunity can be attained faster and quicker, because 57% of the population have been exposed in the slum areas. And for the herd immunity, at least 60% of the people have to be exposed to the virus. So these are certain findings of the Sero Survey, and now the BMC says that in the month of August, they will once again, do and conduct in the same wards to actually compare the situation on the ground. With video journalist Sachin Yeram, this is Disha Shah reporting here for For Mirror Now from Mumbai.